Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. Let's take a look at the charts. I'm going to start with the big picture. It's worth noting that for the last 2 weeks in a row. This could be the third week in a row. While we've closed above the 338.46 two-year channel top, and despite the intra-week violations to the downside of 338.46, the market has come back to settle the weekly bar chart above this important threshold each and every week, thus maintaining what is a big picture long-term buy signal that played out several weeks ago with the settlement above 338.46, expecting 414.49 over the next 2 to 3 months, possibly much sooner, and 501 even over the next, 5 to 8 months. I know I throw different numbers out all the time. Some of that comes down to just the present volatility, which is quite anemic, but that can spike and that can change in a heartbeat, as you're well aware if you've been trading Tesla for some time. So 501 even potentially within 3 to 5 months if, say, by the end of the year, for instance, we were to close above 414.49. So let's take a look at the big picture. Just before I leave this chart, I want to mention that 338.46 is still a solid area to buy into. Now, of course, you want to exhibit decent risk management to the downside in the event of, whatever that means to you. I know that, and I've been doing analysis, market analysis for, over 30 years. And I started on the trading floor in Chicago. And at that time, it was all day traders. And in fact, some of them would trade hundreds of times a day, constantly buying and selling, looking for these price points that they could lean on a little more heavily. And then over the last 20 years, I graduated more toward big picture analysis. But all the while, I knew it was the big picture analysis that sort of ran the market. The longer term trends rule. And so really this is a long way for me to describe that your risk management is going to be different than anybody's. You may have your own rules. You may have your own violation thresholds to the downside. Maybe you've got a 2% rule, which is what I exhibit in my trading and investing, that if 338.46, we were to break that, what is 2% of my overall trading account? That is my worst case stop loss. Most of the time, well inside the 1% zone, usually 1/10 of 1%, which basically means that I'm not all in on a Tesla trade. It is a part of my portfolio. But you might be a day trader where Tesla is all of your trading account for part of the day anyway. And so obviously your stop loss is going to be tighter. It'll be closer to 338.46 than someone who's, let's say, they've allocated 5 or 10% of their trading account to this new long entry, let's say, over the last few weeks above 338.46. Let's get back to the daily analysis, shall we? Anyway, 338.46, base of support, upside working from there. I've got 363.90, simple trend line off the highs, might actually contain daily buying pressures given the relatively low volatility right now. If we were to push through 363.90 today, that could set off follow-through buying to 376.73 within the day. We've obviously seen that kind of volatility before. The likelier outcome with present volatility is a settlement today above 363.90 would likely yield 376.73 by Friday's close within another day or two. 376.73 is now a 2-week channel top. It can contain daily buying pressures. Under other circumstances, I might call that a 3-star weekly resistance area. But in the proper context of having recently settled above a long-term channel of resistance, now supported 338.46, I want to keep it light at 376.73 and not encourage aggressive selling there on the short side. I think you can take profits there if you're in a 3 to 5 day swing trade, or maybe you're long above 338.46 looking for a place to scale out of some of your long position. This could be it as well. But I will say that closing above 376.73 is considered an eventuality. And if over the next week or so should then yield within a matter of, I'm going to say a week or two, this 414 414.49 November 21 high. Now, of course, along the way, we have 384.29 upper right. I just have that as an intraday resistance level that might contain buying pressures for the remainder of a day if we happen to push through 376.73, but it is the settlement above 376.73 that sets off follow-through buying. And that 414.49 level, that is right about here on the chart. And I think you can see that if we close above 376.73, we're probably 3 to 5 days away from reaching that 414.49 November 21 high, where yes, we could double top perhaps through the rest of December. And so really what I'm saying here is if we happen to close over the next, say, few days above 376.73, we're just another week away, inside of 2 weeks away from reaching 414.49, where we could double top through December. And if we close above 414.49, then we're probably 2 to 3 months or sooner from reaching our overall objective at 501 even. Let's cover the downside now. Of course, we have 338.46, and so that stands out. If we were to break 338.46, then 328.62 is in reach today. And if we close today below 338.46, I know we've been here before. We were here last, was it Thursday? Yes. And then Friday, Monday, Tuesday. That's right. Last Thursday was a bit of a head fake, as you recall. Sell signal below 2-week channel bottom and back below the 338 area. Wasn't to be. The market rejected it outright. And so here we are. We gapped higher on Monday. And, Friday was a bit of a lull. But if we break 338.46 on an intraday basis, 328.62 likely. And I will say, regardless of the fact that it happened last week, if we close today below 338.46, I don't see a great reason to stay long through the rest of the week if that is your time frame. If you're a 3 to 5 day swing trader and we close back below 338.46, I think 313.17 in reach within 3 to 5 days or a full week. Now, if you would rather await a violation of 328.62 before exiting a long position, that would be entirely up to you. But I do think closing below 338.46, good high for the week. By the end of next week or sooner, 313.17 in reach. Now, if we do close the week Friday back below 338.46, that is a clear rejection of the long-term buy signal that is yet to occur, despite everything we've seen, breaking back below the upper 330s support after closing above it 3 weeks ago. We keep mustering weekly settlements above it. But if we settle Friday back below 338.46, I do think that failure to follow through on a long-term buy signal, that rejection of a long-term buy signal, does carry with it the likelihood of what is now the upper 270s. This long-term speed line projected off that January 23 low, I think that would likely to be reached. Of course, we've got these little stair-step levels all the way down, 313.17, nice bounce there, maybe for the better part of a week, 289.59, same thing, but I do think it's the upper 270s we can anticipate if we close Friday back below 338.46, but we're not there, and it doesn't look like we're going to be there by Friday's close, but you never know what the market may bestow. I am going to finish with this chart. This is sort of handing you the triple Q analysis. If you've been following, I know you've not been following the triple Q on a daily basis, but we do provide on a daily basis at wickedstocks.com. This is a big area, 518.17. This is a daily chart, and there is a 5-year channel top that we are now above, but not by a 1% margin. And if we close today above 518.17, that does clear the 1% margin, an early long-term buy signal. On the wickedstocks.com website, 5-day free trial will provide you our 1 to 2 week objective, our 3 to 5 week objective, and our 1 to 2 year objective if we happen to take this area out. So keep that in mind. Closing above 518.17, big picture, long-term buy signal that becomes validated on a Friday settlement of the same. Need to make that point clear because it is a long-term signal. Until then, the triple Q is highly susceptible to meaningful, longer-term bearish rotation as we move through the first quarter. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. You got 5 days free trial. You can take advantage for no cost our triple Q analysis. This is a major capitulation point for the market. and I think you want to see it. I think you want these precise points, and I'm going to leave it at that. I will be back tomorrow, of course, with Thursday's Triple Q report. You have a great day.